Marhaba, and welcome to the Matrix Green Pill, where real people connect.
Hello and welcome back to the Matrix Green Pill podcast. My name is Hilmarie Hutchison, and today I am so excited to introduce my very special guest, Abdulla Lutfi.
Hi, nice to meet you all.
Thank you so much for being here, Abdullah. Abdullah goes by the artistic name AL. He's a dynamic, unique, and well-established Emirati artist based in Dubai. He has been creating art since childhood and used drawing as a means of communicating before he could even speak. Abdullah, we are so happy to have you here.
You're welcome.
Let's start with a little background about yourself. Can you please tell our audience about who you are?
My name is Abdulla Lutfi, but you can call me AL because it stands for my real name. I'm also an Emirati black and white artist, which I was based in UAE. I'm also 28 years old, and I used to go in Mawahib once because when I first met the teacher named Gulshan Kavarana, her, of course, so she helps me to do art and help me be the independent art black and white artist. And that's how I became famous in the artist in the UAE.
Now, I know that you are an amazing artist. I just said earlier that you started even before you could talk. Can you remember when you started getting involved with art and started drawing?
I started drawing since when I was in the age of 5 years old because I couldn't speak because when I was busy drawing. So I drew something to communicate with my parents like that. But when I grew up and now when I go to the schools and then I started to speak.
Then you also met Gulshan, right? Can you tell us about that experience?
I used to meet Gulshan in this first place in the Bastakia, which is the first art studio for adults with special needs, is what they call it, the Mawahib from Beautiful People. I've been doing a lot of art drawings and commission works there, but since there was a COVID and then Mawahib has been shut down. But now I have my own studio now, so instead of me going in Mawahib, I found this new studio, which we call it our next chapter here in Tashkeel, Fahidi. The Tashkeel helps us open my first studio.
And you opened that studio with somebody else?
Oh, yeah. Even my cousin was here with me too, but she couldn't come today. Me and my cousin have our own studio that she draws her thing and I draw my thing. Me, I'm a black and white artist, and my cousin is actually the heart people artist.
Well, how do you come up with your ideas for what you want to draw? What inspires you?
Ever since when I read comic books, when I open the page and the pages were black and white, but the front cover is mostly cover, but the pages are in black and white, like fun, hilarious things, even Japanese manga, and I even watch television as well. I watch a lot of cartoons lately and then that's how I became an artist when I drew what I see how the animators did their lines on the eyes and faces. That's how I became a black and white artist. And I also write bubble words as well in my art, like when my characters are talking hilariously, and then that's how I became famous with my art style.
What is your favorite thing to draw?
Well, my favorite thing to draw is just some things what I play from a video game and draw Arab people and skylines.
Very nice. There are many people who think of themselves as not creative. What tips would you give to people to try to explore their creativity?
Well, if some people don't know what to do with their lives, all they can do is just, for instance, if some people don't know what to do with their life or they don't know what to study about, if they want an easy job, the easy job is to be an artist, like to draw and sell. That's how I live my life a lot. It's the best job I've ever had.
That's good advice. It's always good to love what you do, right?
Yeah, I love my job so much, even though I get angry at it sometimes, but I still love it.
Very good. I think we all get angry at our jobs sometimes. Congratulations on being selected to be part of the Expo Dubai official theme song. How did that happen?
I was being accepted.
And what did you do for that?
I just did some drawing characters like in the black and white on the canvas with this huge thick marker. And then in the video, somehow my characters came to life, like my characters came down with people.
That was an excellent recognition for you.
Yes, it is.
You also did a big installation at the airport, at the Dubai International Airport. How did that happen?
Yeah, it's still there forever. I hope it's forever, but it's in the concourse, the Terminal 3. It's a huge 40-meter printed artworks of my other art memories. So when most of the people all over the world come to see my big black and white work, people will think I'm the most wanted, famous artist of all time.
You are, Abdullah. It's a beautiful piece of work. Well done. You've absolutely been very busy.
Yeah, I'm a lot famous on Instagram as well. I get so many followers on Instagram, also WhatsApp, and even Facebook as well, and Pinterest.
And Pinterest. You've got your art everywhere, which is beautiful. And also, you've been involved with Etihad's UAE Golden Jubilee celebration campaign. What did you do for that?
These huge 5 rectangle canvases, I think I forgot what they are, but it was a very hard job. The client keeps choosing and changing. It was so much stress, but we finally did it, but then they loved it finally.
I'm sure they did. Your work is beautiful. Let's talk a little bit about the workshops that you do. You give speed drawing workshops and you give demonstrations at schools and corporate events. Why is this important to you?
Well, it's not that it's important. Some of the people in the world called me to do a workshop. So when I do a workshop, I teach them to do buildings. I teach them to do people. I teach them to do other things, even buildings and all of that. So most of the kids and the schools know that I'm the famous artist that teach them to draw without color.
And what kind of response do you get from them? What is the experience like being there teaching these children?
Well, I'm just a workshopper, not the actual teachers. I'm just a workshopper. So I just usually teach the other students that they usually do art class, and I teach them how to draw in my style and other characters, like what I see. And that's how they all do it. And that's how they did.
And they like it.
Yeah, they liked it. They're learning pretty my skills, by the way.
I know that you love Japan and all things Japanese, right?
Yeah, I love Japan.
How did your fascination and your love for Japan start?
Everything I love there. I like their temples. I like their animes. I love their sushis and also their Japanese desserts and also the cute Japanese girls there, which I would marry one.
We'll keep fingers crossed for that, yes?
Yeah, fingers crossed for that.
But who introduced you to Japan and Japanese art and culture and people? How did you even know about that? Was it through your anime comics or what?
It's 5 things that I like about their country. My favorite state in Japan is Tokyo, and my favorite place in Tokyo is Akihabara. I like the animes, and I love their sushis, and I love their technologies and figures. It's like a future there.
It's a fantastic country.
How do you think Nissans and Toyotas were invented as well?
Exactly. So tell me, Abdullah, you've done a lot. I've seen your resume of the different things you've accomplished so far. It's absolutely impressive. What are some of your plans that you are working on now for the future?
I was doing this airport thing for the plane. I was drawing some of the characters that they were going to print it on not the actual plane, on the busted plane, which is a broken airplane, but they use it as a statue thing. So I usually do the black and white stuff, and then they'll print it on the broken airplane as like an art thing, like how there's a miracle garden where they have these busted vehicles from the junkyard and they put all these flowers at the top. So I'm doing the same thing for the airplane as well, that they'll print my black and white on. Oh yeah, and I'm going to Tokyo for my exhibition as well, because I'm featuring all my artworks in Tokyo there. Also going to Canada, from the 3 states in Canada that we go to: Toronto and Vancouver and Calgary. Toronto, Vancouver, and Calgary, the 3 states that we're going, because I'm doing a workshop there.
How exciting.
Yep. And then after that, I'm going to Washington in USA.
Wow, you've got some big plans ahead of you.
You don't know what I'm going to do in Washington. Maybe a workshop, or I'm not sure what we're doing there. Or maybe we're just doing workshops for the American schools.
I'm sure you'll have a fantastic time, and I'm sure it'll be a fantastic experience for you. Wow, so exciting. So much for you to look forward to. What I haven't asked about, would like to ask, if you feel like talking about this, we can sort of bring it in. Your experience being on the spectrum. Do you want to talk about that? Do you want to give tips to others who are on the spectrum?
Well, not really. I'm kind of fine with that. I'm okay with being an autism person.
Right. You've certainly not let it slow you down at all.
Yeah.
You've just taken the world by the horns and just gone for it.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we've done very well so far. So thank you very much for answering those questions. It's certainly been interesting to learn a little bit more about you. Now, we would like to play a little game. It's our version of a game show. Are you ready for a game show?
I don't know any game shows, by the way.
Okay, so I'll just ask you a few questions and you tell me the first thing that comes in your head.
Okay.
So if I said to you, what is your favorite food?
My favorite food was hamburgers and French fries and chicken nuggets. And also, I like burgers, fries, chicken nuggets, sushis, and Chinese food.
And your favorite dessert, because you said your favorite dessert was Japanese. What's your favorite Japanese?
And my favorite Japanese dessert is that, that biscuit? They used to have this very flat biscuit. They used to make these roll biscuits like that, but I forgot what that name is, by the way, but they taste pretty good.
Wafer?
Yeah.
But it's a chocolate.
Yeah, it's a chocolate. If only I had my phone, I can show you the image of that I like, because I kind of literally forgot the name of that.
That's okay. Our audience wouldn't see the picture anyway, so that's okay. So, my next question, what is your favorite anime character?
Naruto, Dragon Ball, My Hero Academia, Attack on Titan.
Oh, those are some good ones.
Yeah.
What is your favorite holiday destination?
My favorite holiday is traveling outside of country to London, UK, and Japan, Tokyo.
I guess Japan must be number one.
And also Eid was my favorite holiday, like after the Ramadan when we're fasting.
My last question on our game show is, who is your favorite artist?
Yayoi Kusama is my favorite artist. She's a Japanese artist, and that Nakamura artist is, I forgot last name is, but anyway, Yayoi Kusama is a Japanese artist that I like. Well, she draws circles a lot.
Very, very nice. Well, thank you for playing along. That was the end of our game show. It wasn't too hard. Now, before we finish and before we wrap up, I'd like to ask you about your green pill moment. If you could take a pill, if we could give you a green pill and you could start all over, would you change anything about your journey so far, about your life?
I don't know exactly. That's hard to decide. I would not like to change my autisms.
You're happy you've had a good life, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
My last question. So what green pill advice or what advice would you give to parents or loved ones of children who are on the spectrum?
I want to tell the parents to give their to have an easy life as being an artist for autism people. I just want their parents all over the world to accept their special needs people, to accept autism people, and to respect them with caring.
That's a beautiful message and really good advice.
Yes.
Abdullah, thank you so much for joining me today and for being here. This has been really fun talking to you. You're really easy to talk to, so thank you for making the time. For sure, we'll be watching and following your career and what you're doing next and all these exciting things that you have planned for America soon. Thank you very much. Before we finish up, can you please tell our audience where they can find and follow you? Because you said you've got a lot of followers on Instagram.
Well, my Instagram name is Abdulla Lutfi, and then when you type it in, then you'll see my logo that looks like my drawing head of myself with one that says AL on it.
So it's pretty easy to find you. You're pretty famous.
My phone's over there, so I can show you the name.
I have seen your website and I have seen your self-portrait with the head and the little ears.
Yeah.
We'll put all this in the show notes so that our guests can find and follow you as well.
Yeah.
So thank you again, Abdullah. It was really fun talking to you.
You're welcome. It's been a pleasure.
If you enjoy our conversations, please like and subscribe. See you next Wednesday.